Hello, my name is Arthur, and in this video we're going to look at taking our 5 house images and separating them into more Y-sortable layers for Godot. Um, this part is also going to be, well, a little bit complicated. Not that bad, but the procedure and how to do it is probably important enough to do it on video. So that's what we're going to do. I still haven't actually done it. We're learning as we go here. So I'm pretty sure the first thing I want to do is take my visible layer, section off one of the sections that I want to separate from this layer into its own layer. So we have the south wall selected and visible. We're going to add a new layer. We're going to fill the layer with transparency and go OK. The new layer will be added on top of the visible layer. Now we'll have to select the layer that's visible that we're working in. We're just going to go Control X to cut that selection out. We're going to select the layer we want to put it into and go Control V for paste. That will appear as a floating section above that layer. So we anchor the floating section into the layer. Now we have that wall separated into 2 different layers. So now we can go to the east wall. Now this wall, I decided that each layer will be 1 quadrant. So this will need 2 additional layers to fit this wall. So we will create a new layer filled with transparency, and we might as well just create both layers. So a new layer filled with transparency. We'll come back to the east wall, and well, I'm not sure that it matters what order we grab it in. We'll separate this quadrant into the first layer and this quadrant into the second layer. So again, we select the quadrant. We want to make sure we have snap to grid and show grid and the grid configured as mentioned in the previous video. The math on this image was 180 pixels break 720 into 4 even quadrants. So we'll select this quadrant that we want to separate, cut it out, Control X. We'll select the layer we want to paste it into, Control V, paste it, and anchor that. Then we'll come back to the east wall, the root layer for this wall. We'll select the second quadrant, Control Cut, and we'll come up to the empty layer and Control V, paste it into there and anchor that. So now what we have is the wall separated into quadrants. So that only leaves one more wall, the north wall. And this one will separate into 2 layers, so we need to add 1 more layer. So we'll go new layer filled with transparency, OK. Make sure we're cutting out of the root image and not the empty layer. Control Cut. Select the empty layer, Control Paste, and anchor it to the empty layer. So now that wall is cut into quadrants. From here, we're going to need to save each of these images, and should probably try to find a naming convention that gives them an order and makes their order obvious. So we would be south wall 1 and south wall 2. And let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces. So we might want to go something like, this is south wall 1. This is south wall 2. This is east wall 3. This is east wall 4. This is east wall 5. This is east wall 6. And this is east wall 7. And that way we have the numbers sort of in the construction order of the walls. So I'll come back in the next video with all of these layers saved. We don't need to save the floor and the roof because they're already PNGs of the right size. So we'll save all of the layers that we just cut up and come back in the next video and start putting them into Godot. Until then, take care.